Hey guys, we're moving up in the world. We got new lights, we got a new camera, we got a new tripod, got a new microphone, we got all kinds of stuff in order to make new videos. And now, the first video is gonna be about voice actor lingo, things we tell each other and directors in and out of the booth in order to make things a little bit more fluid in our work. But before we get to that, I wanna talk to you about something. These videos, this series of videos I make about voice acting, whatever you wanna call it, they are not intended to teach you how to act. I can't do that. Rather, I'm not qualified to. I don't have the education. I don't have the resources. And frankly, I don't have the most important part, which is you. And I know that sounds cheesy, but acting is inherently reacting off of somebody else. That said, anybody who says they can teach you how to act in the current world environment, you should really vet them thoroughly and make sure they have a killer resume and make sure they've taught other people how to act remotely because, in my opinion, that's next to impossible. No amount of paid online seminars, YouTube videos, or one-on-one Zoom calls can give you the knowledge and experience the person who says they can teach you how to act got themselves. Most likely they were stage actors, and they learned in a completely different way than going onto a Zoom call and talking to a professional. Now, I'm like you guys. I wasn't living in LA my whole life. I didn't grow up in show business. I'm from Ohio. I made the terrifying move out here by myself, and you guys might make that same move one day. Granted, this was filmed in 2020, and I've really only been doing this professionally in the area for 2 years, but I know where I stand. How do I become a voice actor? Well, like I said, I'm with you guys. I had the same questions when I moved out here, and now I have some answers, and I want to try and share those with you. That's it, I think. That's enough of this pretentious BS. Avery, throw a meme on screen, quick. Okay, not that. Give me something from like 2011. Oh shit, that's good. We'll go out on that. All right, I'll be right back. Whoa! Hey, what's up? Jonah doesn't understand continuity because he left that way and came back this way. Hey, what's up? Let's talk about our first set of letters. Our first set of letters is ADR, and that stands for Automated Dialogue Replacement. Now, a lot of you are familiar with it because of anime, as you should be, because every anime ever localized utilized ADR or some other sort of dubbing process. Old DBZ, that was all done on DAT tape, digital audio tape, actual magnetic tape. You got one take, and if you flubbed it up, you had to wait 2 minutes for them to spool up another take. So it was ill-advised, and you had to be really good at what you did. Nowadays, we're blessed with wonderful, beautiful, fantastic, big-brained engineers who know exactly what they're doing, and programs like Pro Tools, which allow us to just slide things into place whenever we need to. With the help of a well-adapted script, a skilled director, the ADR process is super simple. And ADR isn't just used in anime, it's used in commercials and cartoons and video games and all kinds of other things because everything needs a bit of audio post once it's done. So dubbing, or loop syncing, or looping, or post syncing, or any number of other terms used for the same thing is just that, ADR. Next! Okay, with the bare bones of ADR out of the way, the next thing we're going to talk about is an actual lingo word. This word is called flaps. F-L-A-P-S. 90% of you probably know what flaps are, but for the uninformed, flaps are anything that the character talks out of. And they don't have to be a mouth. You know, the up and down stuff, it doesn't have to be like that. Shenron, yeah, he's got a mouth, but that guy talks so slowly. Go look at the flaps, look at them! Look at how wide they are. Also, a couple of Naruto examples, Kakashi and Katsuyu. We'll get to Katsuyu in a bit, but Kakashi, that little mask he's got, it's a little chin jiggle. That's a flap, technically. I mean, you could call it a chin, but then you confuse everybody. Katsuyu gives me nightmares. In her little butthole mouth, God, that thing is disgusting. It's a flap, but it's gross. The point is, 99% of the time, when a director says flaps, they're talking about where the person is speaking from. Oh, God. Is Katsuyu behind me? Can you please take her away? Oh God, that's gross. Oh God, you got the squish in there too. Just get it out of here. God, it looks like it's covered in Vaseline. Shh. Okay, the next little bit of jargon and lingo we're gonna talk about is the word sides. Now, the word sides, it basically is the audition material for a particular character or a particular game or something like that. You'll get a collection of characters for like a game or a show that the casting director thinks you can do. And that's good. The first part is done for you. They will show you in your inbox which ones you get. And when they get in your inbox, you got work to do because auditioning is the work of an actor. Getting the role is the icing on the cake, and we get to go in and have fun and get paid, but auditioning is the quote-unquote hard part. Now, what are sides? Sides are essentially 5 to 6 lines, maybe more, of a character that is a distillate of that character. It tells you what they do, it can tell you what kind of weird vocal tics they have, a speech impediment, an accent, or something like that, and it helps you tell a story with that character in a short amount of time. It could also be a monologue as well. Sometimes you'll get a small bio of the character, other times you'll get just the lines, other times you'll get all 3, sometimes you get nothing at all and you have to do a lot of imagining. If that's the case, have fun and enjoy yourself. A quick little audition nugget. Don't blow out your chords on auditioning something, even if it's for something you really want. Don't blow out your chords auditioning, and don't audition with material that is a little bit too verbose. If they give you a lot to do for an audition, like I'm talking page or 2, don't do it. Because especially online, there are some people out there, this has happened to me, that will try and get free work out of you because they send an audition and they know you're gonna audition, and you wake up one morning and then you go and see the project page and you're in the game, but nobody cast you, nobody paid you. And they used that audition tape to put in the game, and that's illegal. But the odds of them getting caught, unless you decide to file a lawsuit, are really, really low. So protect yourself, watch what auditions that you do, and you have the power. Protect yourself, guys. All right, now the next thing we're gonna talk about is something hopefully you'll be doing most days, if not every day, and that is a session. Now, the word session is usually used anytime you go into a studio to record, a recording session. This is why you did the audition and you booked the job. Congratulations. Now it's time to go into the studio and do the job and have the fun and get super nervous and get very anxious about your first recording session and then go to the wrong studio and then realize that Liam O'Brien is really the only other person in that studio for that day and you get to hang out with him for 10 minutes. And then he says, well, I'm the only one on the schedule today. You probably are at the wrong studio. And he takes a bite out of his peach and then you realize that you probably went to the wrong studio and then you get up and very meekly walk out the door and then you're late to your next session and yeah, that was very embarrassing in a very specific example. But anyway, a session is when you go in to record. And this is the time where you get to introduce yourself to the director, the producer, and very importantly, the engineer, because everything they do is what's going to come out the other end. They are just as important to this process, if not more important than you are. So be polite. Go and engage them and introduce yourself and be polite. I'm from the Midwest, and I go up to everybody with, I used to go up and shake hands, but you can't do that anymore. I used to go up and shake hands and say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. But if somebody doesn't like being called that, don't call them that. Just kind of read the room a little bit and get in there and kick butt. Usually the sessions last a couple of hours, anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. Sometimes they'll schedule you for 30 minutes and still pay you for an hour. If you're good at what you do, a video game, maybe you can get 100 lines done in an hour. ADR, you could probably get 30 or 40 loops done in an hour, and that's pretty good. And if you don't do well in your first session, that's fine. You're probably nervous. Your vocal cords are probably tight. It's not your fault. It's just your nerves. Take a little bit to calm down and realize that if you messed up, they're not really probably gonna notice. You're your own worst critic, and they will ask you to come back in, and it's not a big deal. You can do pickups. Pickups doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means that they need another take, or your vocal cords were tight and you need to reread for it. One common misconception is that just because you perform badly doesn't mean you're gonna get on a blacklist, okay? You have to do something like reprehensibly immoral to get on any sort of blacklist. You have to be a bad person. And I know if you're watching this, you probably aren't a bad person and you're gonna do fine. So go into your first recording session confident and realize that you're probably gonna make a mistake. And that's okay. I did too. Another thing I wanna tell you guys about sessions is if you are a fan of the game, of the show, of the movie, of the cartoon, of whatever, you can let the director know politely, and that will probably help the director inform you of the situation, what's going on screen, what's going on in the wireframe models you're seeing, what's going on in the script, because you don't get any visual aid, what have you. But please, be professional about it. I am a fanboy as well. There are several projects that I just geeked out when I got cast. And I needed to reassure myself that I was going to be professional in the session. I would go in, tell the director that I'm happy to be a part of this project. I know the story, and I'm ready to go. But for the love of God, don't go overboard, because people cringe at that really quickly and realize that you are more a fanboy and less an actor. When the project releases, go buck wild with your buddies. Have so much fun. Watch it together, play it together, whatever you want. But try and separate the workplace from your home where you're a big fan. It's not a huge deal, but it really takes your professional image up a whole notch. Another thing is when you go to a session and you get lots of sessions and multiple sessions and you're out driving around a lot during the day, it's very nice to have one of these, a session bag. This is a small bag that I have decorated with a bunch of characters I voice and shows that I like, and studios that I'm a part of. And on the inside, there's all kinds of stuff that would help you out during a session. I have throat lozenges, I have hand sanitizer, I have deodorant, I have a towel to wipe sweat because it gets hot in there. I have this. For those of you that watch my stream, it's my water bottle. It's one-hand operation, which I really appreciate, and it's easy to use in the middle of a session. That I just whip it out and take a big old sip, and then I'm good to go. You can have all kinds of other things in there, comfort things, whatever you want, a lucky rabbit's foot, but this goes with me pretty much to every session, and I use the things inside whenever I have, an emergency or something like that. So get yourself a session bag and try to be a fanboy at home and a voice actor in the booth. Okay, next thing we're gonna talk about is a thing called efforts and reactions, or reacts to be short. Usually people call these the anime noises, but they can be so much more than that. Avery, can you run a 5-second supercut of some anime girls doing some weird shit?
Do you have the time?
Yeah, essentially it sounds like that. Oh, wait, Avery, can you put the Titus laugh in? Because that's funny and it's also kind of a reaction. Sweet. James Arnold Taylor is pissed. Anyway, an effort or a reaction isn't just in anime. Efforts and reactions are all across media. Video games especially, if you gotta throw a punch, you gotta exert any kind of force, even down to a very soft mumble or a very soft exertion. They don't have to be screams, they don't have to be shouts, but this is where you get your DBZ yells, this is where you get your mudas, this is where you get all kinds of that stuff. Generally in the script, it's denoted as effort or blanking reaction or something, blanking effort or reaction, and there could be a set of letters beside it. So OM reacts or CLT reacts. Clenched teeth is CLT, open mouth is OM, and they go on and on. They're pretty much self-explanatory if you watch the picture. One quick tip, physicality really helps. So next time you're in the booth, try throwing a punch and don't hit the mic. For the love of God, please don't hit the mic. Well, that about does it for this video. We're pushing time and I really need to go eat. But if you have any questions about acting or voice acting in general, please put them down below in the comments section and I'll try to answer them on the second video that I'm actively working on. I've crowdsourced a lot of information about the industry from good friends like Brittany Lauda, Kellen Goff, and many others. It's gonna be just as good, if not better, than this first one. If you enjoyed this first one, please consider liking and subscribing, ringing that bell for notifications, and commenting below. I also stream on Twitch almost every day, twitch.tv/Jonah Scott. And in general, on a voice acting note, please check out D. Bradley Baker's website, iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. If you prefer textual, more like a textbook style approach to this, and he constantly updates his website, please go check it out, give it a look. D is amazing and he keeps us incredibly well informed. It's an invaluable resource for people who are looking to do this for a living. Remember, be excellent to everyone you meet, because everyone is fighting a hard battle and sometimes you can't see it. Thanks for showing up, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.